One Punch Man Season 3's official preview number 2 has just dropped, and to be frankly honest, I'm very happy with it. Even though we still didn't have any animated scenes, I'm still very optimistic because the art is very crisp. To be frankly honest, I think this is a result of us thinking that this season is going to be bad. Obviously, it's not really the best production, but it feels like, or it seems like, it's much better than Season 2, at least when it comes to art. The characters looks much better than I expected. The art is really crisp, but they got rid of that blurry effect that doesn't add anything to the quality of the anime, and to be frankly honest, as I said, I'm very happy with this. So the first thing that I've noticed is that this is not a trailer, this is not an official trailer. We thought it's gonna be released today, but we've got preview number 2. A preview is essentially the same as a trailer, right? It's gonna show you things you didn't see before. But the official trailer essentially is gonna showcase more scenes, and it's going to be the final product, and I wouldn't say product, but the final look before the actual episodes drops. So we're gonna be expecting this after 3, maybe 4 days, since we're 9 days away from Season 3's release. So let's first talk about this second preview, since as I said, I'm feeling very optimistic about Season 3 now, specifically because of this preview. And as a graphic designer myself, as somebody who does editing, graphic designing, and very invested in these kind of stuff, the coloring and the art generally looks much better than Season 2. It just eclipses it in so many ways. Although some scenes had very stiff movements, but it's not really important scenes. It's not like they're fighting or anything. If somebody's handing an object or going towards the door or anything, it doesn't need to have this crazy level of animation. We know that GC staff is good, but they're not that good to deliver great animation for every single movement, right? We're expecting the fights to be good, and since they didn't show us anything regarding any fight, any major fight like Flashy Flash versus the Two Ninja, Atomic Samurai versus Black S, we're assuming they're leaving that for the last trailer or to just be seen in the actual episodes. So now let's talk about the footage or the content that was showcased in this preview without really spoiling for non-manga readers, right? So the first thing we see is Atomic Samurai with his disciples, something we've seen in the first or second commercial. Then we cut to the hero's headquarters where we see Sage alongside with multiple heroes executives, and then Narinki joins the meeting. Narinki is a partially important character from Season 2. He's the father of this child who got kidnapped by the Monster Association in Season 2, where Metal Bat tried to protect them but got distracted by Elder Centipede, right? These Hero Association headquarters scenes are actually pretty good design-wise. As you can see, Narinki has some sort of movements. He doesn't just slide like some Blue Lock animation. You can also see a lot of improvement when it comes to darker scenes, right? Where scenes are conducted with no lights or at night. So back in the day, in Season 2, the scenes were extremely bad when it comes to compositing because of that blurry effect, but I'm guessing they learned from Season 1, where they didn't have that blurry effect. It looked pretty good inside the hero's headquarters. We after cut to Zombie Man, which is a scene we've seen before, but the main thing you gotta take from this is the compositing and the coloring. It really resembles Season 1, where you don't really need to make it more flashy or more cool with filters or colors that are not conventional. After that, we see some new scenes from the Hero Association headquarters with Tatsumaki, Darkshine, and Sekingar, showing them this hologram of Drive Knight, right? I don't want to spoil what this means, but I really love Tatsumaki in this scene where she's really composited really well when it comes to the shadings, the lightning, and all of that. It's just good. After that, we cut to some new scenes we didn't see before with Metal Knight, a bloody scene, and then Child Emperor. And let me be clear if I wasn't before. Okay, the metal texture is much improved than Season 2. It reminds me of Season 1, and in this particular scene, it just looks much better. The shading, the compositing, as I said, is done really professionally this time, and I'm really happy for it. We have to get to see some frames where they don't actually move, but as I said before, these types of scenes don't really require that much of movements. And one thing that caught my attention is the line art, specifically when regarding Puri Puri Prisoner in this specific scene. It just shows or displays different vibes completely, and I love it. It's a very creative line art. Things like these might appear to be very simple to a lot of people, but I gave this example way back in the day in one of my videos where I've talked about Stinger going up against the deep-seeking subordinates. There were no movements at all, no animation, but the scene was really good. The decision of having a great OST with just a little tweak of shaking made the scene really well, made the scene stand out, as I said. And sometimes we don't really need heavy animation in order for us to feel hype about a certain scene. Sometimes it's just the OST with a little tweak of shaking, a little tweak of production and compositing would make the scene worthwhile. Now, after we got to see the Monster Association hideout alongside with some monster frames we didn't see before, but as I said, that the main thing you get from this is the beautiful coloring and compositing regarding darker scenes, especially with the Giro Giro scene where she's looking at Garu. It just looks much better. The greenish type of coloring or filter just made it seem better. And speaking of Garu, this time we've had more scenes regarding this character, and the main thing you can notice is the very thick line art regarding this character. I'm guessing they made this decision to give this thick line art to Garu specifically just to make him stand out, because he's a special character regarding season 3, as you can say he's the actual main character. But the thing that I loved about that trailer is how the cadres or the monster executives looks like compositing wise, right? They just look really good, especially when it comes to Homeless Emperor. The background, the compositing, the lights emitting from him, it just looks majestic and looks beautiful. The only problem I have, and again specifically because I'm a video editor and I do compositing using After Effects and stuff, is the slide effect they used on Black S. The way he slides just looks kinda weird, but I'm guessing this is not the final product, and I'm guessing they're gonna change the way it looks. I mean, there isn't much to improve regarding this matter, but you can tweak it a little bit and make it look better. It's a bit weird. We've also got some Saitama group scenes in his apartment and outside of his apartment, and the main thing you can see is that they improved Saitama's face in a lot of shots, right? And I actually love it. They also had this diner last scene where it signifies something. I'm not gonna spoil it, but I have no problems with these scenes at all, even though they have minimum movements, as I said, but they're not really fight scenes or very important scenes that needs to have crazy animation. Now, did the second PV lift up my spirits? Absolutely. Obviously, there is the elephant in the room where we didn't have any animated scenes, especially regarding the fights, but I'm guessing they would showcase a little bit of them in the official trailer, and then we get to see them for the first time in the official release, and I do not have any problems. But the fact that they're showing promising improvement, especially when it comes to art and compositing, which resembles season 1, just gives us more hope and makes us feel that season 3 is going to be much better. I'm actually very optimistic, and I feel like you guys should be optimistic too. And always remember that it's never gonna reach the level of craziness and creativity and production season 1 had, but it's still gonna be the second best, where it's gonna eclipse season 2. So until next time, please take good care.